Yo, what's going on everyone? Miles Midoriya here with a review and recap of All-American Homecoming Season 2, Episode 8. In the beginning, everyone's partying, having fun, they playing some throwback songs. JR's talking to Orlando and Santiago about the game they had, and Orlando brings up where's Damon, and JR told him he's probably spending time with Thea. No, that's not happening. As soon as he said that, the DJ announced that Damon was there and JR went to go check up on him and he let him know what was up with him and Thea. Orlando spots Simone checking in on her, trying to see what's wrong with her, but Simone doesn't tell him and she leaves. While on her way out, Damon stops her and she's trying to figure out why is he dancing with someone that's not his girlfriend. He let her know that they're done or on a break, whatever's going on, and that she said he was the cause of her losing focus on tennis. Simone gave him some advice to not let the drinks and the pain make him do something stupid. That Thea's new to being in a relationship and could be overwhelmed with everything going on, and he should talk to her in the morning, which is true. She hasn't been in a relationship before because she's been focusing on tennis, and the main thing she's trying to do is get back to tennis. Since he told her what was going on with him, he was checking up on her, and she let him know that she failed a drug test and she tested positive for THC. He couldn't even believe it. Simone did take another test and she's waiting on the results for that. She's worried about the future, but Damon let her know that everything would be good, and while he's hugging her, Orlando looked over and saw that and didn't look too happy. In the next scene, Cam is checking in on Keisha to see if she's good, which she isn't. He could tell she didn't get any sleep and she spent the night rehearsing. You could tell she's putting a lot of pressure on herself, saying that she has to push herself to the limit, but he already knew that was Dr. Pace talking like that. She's going too far and he just doesn't want her to overdo it. Later in the day, Damon ran into Thea, and it didn't go how he thought it would have. Thea let him know that she can't lose herself in him, and he said he wouldn't let that happen. She told him that he's like a sun. Everything and everyone in his orbit revolves around him, and he couldn't stop it, even if he tried. I don't know, she's kind of telling the truth because didn't JR say something like that a few episodes ago? But he was a little upset. He really cares about her. After she left, he got a message from JR, which most likely is about the Brinkston scandal. Simone is sitting with her coach and athletic director. Her test came back positive again. I was like, what is going on here? The coach was kind of let down and that she expected more from her. I really felt bad for Simone because she wouldn't mess up like that. The athletic director tells her he would be more lenient since THC isn't a performance enhancement, but they have to follow the NCAA guidelines, plus with the whole baseball scandal going on. In the workout room, everyone's watching a video about them saying Brinkston suspected of illegal recruiting practices, and the spin on it is that they did something foul to get Damon back. At that point, all the Brinkston sports are being looked at. At the same time, it kind of makes you wonder who put that out there for them to look at. Simone's there and she tells them that she's been suspended for half the season. That's actually sad because of one made up story, others are getting affected. Later on, Simone went to go talk to her aunt Amara about the whole thing. They're trying to figure out, how did this happen? Did she eat something with it in it? But Simone thinks she got dosed. Amara says that she's going to talk to the athletic department, but Simone tells her that she shouldn't do that. It would look like she's getting special treatment, and guess who comes through the door the moment she says that? Nico, this dude here. He was asking for where Cam was at because he's running for SGA president, and I guess he needed some paperwork. But before he left, you know he had to say a smart comment. He said it's nice to see the rules finally applying to everyone. She thought either he heard the whole conversation, probably, he might have been eavesdropping, or it's going around the college. Moving to the next scene, Marcus is telling Damon not to talk to the press, don't say nothing. We know he's going to say something. He's heated that they're trashing Brinkston and him, saying things about him that's not true. JR chimed in with, is it people saying something or Thea? That's when he told him about the sun comment, and you know who wasn't too far behind. Orlando got irritated naming all the stuff going on that happened in the college, and Simone getting dragged into it. To be fair, he didn't ask for any of that. He didn't even know a story like that was going to come out. He has a big name, that's why he's being dragged into it, and also he left Brinkston and then came back. Jumping to the tennis court, we see Thea getting ready to hit the ball, but she doesn't. It looks like either her arm is still bothering her or she's nervous to make that move. Then it gets announced that Simone won't be playing for a while and a woman named Tiana takes her spot. Thea was curious and asked her what did she test positive for. She told her and asked her how did she know. She told her anytime the coach uses the phrase personal reasons, it's because someone is pregnant or tested positive for something. That coach really gotta change up the words she using if they catching on like that. Simone lets her know she thinks she got drugged, and Thea says she hopes she don't think she did it. At first I thought it was her, but we will get to what really happened later. Simone told Thea she knew if she was gonna come for her, it'd be on the tennis court. That's when she suspected it was probably Tootie. Later on, Cam sees one of his classmates because he had to get a new partner for his musical assignment, but Julian let him know that he had to work on some stuff for the fraternity. He brought up scholarships and Cam got interested. In another scene, we see Dr. Pace going in trying to get Keisha to nail down a routine, and she just said to her that she was showing promise. Maybe she was wrong about her. After Pace left, it looked like she had like a panic attack. Keisha's doing way too much and the professor didn't have to go in like that. You're overworking her and you can tell something's going on with her. She just wants to prove that she can get the job done. Back to the tennis court, Thea's not playing around. She asked Tootie to open up her bag because they were suspecting her. Tootie let him know that she didn't do it, and her cousin spent 3 years in prison because his friend left a dime bag in his car. She let them know that she wouldn't do that to anyone, not even Simone. She dug in her bag and showed them this like flavored drink powder, so it was not a good look for the both of them. Remember what Marcus said earlier, right? In the next scene, Damon and the others are outside in front of some reporters, and the reporters are doing too much with these questions, asking about was going to HBCU the right choice, and that it's going around about a Princeton athlete having a positive test. You know what happens next. He started answering some questions saying how good Princeton is and how Orlando transferred to it, and that's when more questions started flooding in. Because now the reporters are curious about how did he transfer and he's able to play. Marcus told Damon no interviews. I get that he's passionate about his college and when it comes to news about him, but sometimes you gotta be patient and answer the questions when it's time. Simone's in her dorm room and Amara and her mom come through. She told her she might not be able to help her, but her mom can. Her mom tells her that she has a plan. She tells her what it is, and that's when Thea pops up. She lets her know that it wasn't Aquila or the sorority. She didn't blow things out of proportion this time. Aquila said that she knows she wouldn't do drugs, and if she wants to still play it, she's good. Simone thanked her, and Thea said that she should be the one thanking her. Simone figured out that Thea helping her is taking her mind off of Damon. Thea took the time to apologize to her to let her know it wasn't her fault for her injury and that at the time it was grief, shame, and not her finest moment. I'm glad they got that out of the way and they can be somewhat cool again. It was nothing there that should have happened between the two, but like she said, she was going through the motions of it. Moving along, we actually learned something new. Damon was wondering why Orlando didn't answer the question and how he was able to transfer and still play. Orlando told him Shaw took half of his scholarship money to give to him, which means his financial aid was reduced, and to the NCAA rules, he was able to transfer and play. Shaw was pulling out all the stops, man. He was trying to do anything to get Damon over there, and he pulled money from the person that wanted to go to Princeton, and I don't know if he knew at the time, but he didn't really get along with Damon. Orlando walked off, and Marcus came out the office and told the rest of them to give him a minute. He asked Damon what was he doing and showed him a new article they made. JR runs into Cam and he expresses to him he wants to join a fraternity. He says some stuff and JR says he read the website. Cam said no, but JR told him that the fraternity isn't some club he can join just because it seems cool. JR says they want people that's going to be there, and he seems like he might not be a good fit. Damon's in the room sad, blaming himself for what's going on, and I think JR wanted to say something, but he didn't. Orlando pays Simone a visit. They have a little talk and makeup. All of a sudden, Nate comes through the door. He was hanging out with his family. Simone and Orlando catch Nate up with what's going on, and they're wondering how Simone's drug test came back positive. Nate looked over at the dresser asking Simone if she had been using his lotion. She says she has because she ran out. I tell y'all this whole time it was the lotion because it had THC infused in it. So in a way, she accidentally did it to herself. She didn't get set up. I do like the change up and also that it wasn't Thea. Simone and Nate get a text. Everyone's at the dance studio. Keisha was freaking out. She's not getting enough sleep. Simone mentions that she's been caught up with her own stuff, that she didn't even notice anything was wrong with Keisha. Damon and JR mentioned things haven't been the same since they lost family dinners, and JR said they've seen each other, but they haven't really been seeing each other. That is true. We've seen them interact here and there, but we haven't really seen them all gather together and just sit down and talk. Simone calls her mom and they're at Amara's place. Simone's mom tells Amara that she knows she doesn't do family dinners anymore, but you can't take away their home and not expect them to fall apart. That scene meant a lot, seeing them come back together, and that those family dinners really mean a lot to each of them. It really helps them out. Amara's talking with Keisha, and Keisha tells her that she just focuses on Dr. Pace's class and she feels like she's not good enough. Amara tells her that she is good enough, and she's right. She understands chasing excellence, but she's burning out quickly. She has to find balance, make time for herself. Excellence isn't about giving everything you have to give, it's about giving the best you have to give. She understands chasing excellence, but she's burning out quickly. She has to find balance, make time for herself. Excellence isn't about giving everything you have to give, it's about giving the best you have to give. Keisha is good at dancing. She just needs to not let what Dr. Pace does affect her. Focus on being the best her each time she goes to dance. JR is mentioning what Keisha and Amara talking about to Damon, telling him that the sun orbit stuff is true. He felt the heat, and it's okay. Damon said it isn't if he's hurting people or dimming their light. JR told him it's not his job to please everyone in his orbit or manage their emotions. They'll be alright. It's their job to find their own sunshine, not make them feel guilty for burning bright. Cam came over and dropped a bowl on the table, and Damon said, did he do something to him? And JR explained to him that he called him out for wanting to join a fraternity for a scholarship. Damon said, isn't that y'all selling point? He said, yeah, but that can't be the only reason. This is his first line. He wants someone who's loyal, trustworthy, mature, someone who doesn't give up when their back's against the wall. Damon let him know what he listed describes Cam. Maybe he should show Cam that there's more to his fraternity than just money. Marcus is having a talk with Damon about the situation. Damon is telling him why can't they see what they see? If only they can control their own narrative. That's when Marcus gets an idea. It's the next day and everyone's getting ready. Simone's going to have to go in front of everyone and talk, and Damon and the other players are going to have to speak their piece. Orlando visits Simone before she has to leave out. He gives her a pep talk that brightens her up. In the workout room, Damon has a talk with Orlando, letting him know he didn't want things to go bad for him, and he let Damon know he ended up where he wanted to be. Marcus walks in with Reggie Bush. He will be doing an interview. Everyone's speaking their piece, Damon and the players about why they chose to go to Brinkston, and Simone about them still using old rules. How THC isn't a performance enhancement and it shouldn't be banned, and at the very least the highest penalty shouldn't be applied for its use. It was a vote for Simone to be guilty or not guilty. It was tied, and can you guess who had the last vote? It was Nico. So you already know what his vote was. She was found guilty. Nate did make mention about Nico being the student president, but we'll come back to that later. The athletics director spoke saying that he was going to make an example of Simone. He was worried about how things looked on the outside, that he didn't see how things were on the inside. Also that her words moved him and that he will work with Amara to make sure there are administrative changes to the rules. But she did still break the old rules that are in place and that she got a suspension of 1 match. After that, we see Amara and Cam talking about an invitation for a different type of version of their family dinner. Since everyone could be invited, whoever wants to join can join. Cam said no one can complain about it because they'll all have the same access. Then Nate walked in. Remember what I said earlier? Nate says he wants to run for SGA president and he wants to be one that fights for the students. Cam went to go get the paperwork for Nate. On his way out, he runs into JR, who says if he's still interested in joining a fraternity, the initiation fees are no joke. He said he knows, that's why he dropped it, but JR hands him a card to someone that can help him out with the fees. Cam thought he wasn't down for his interest in the fraternity, but he said he would be a good fit to join. It's cool that he took Damon's advice. Amara's talking to Dr. Pace about everything, and Pace is saying that she's preparing them for the real world, and Amara tells her that they are in the real world and that they're the educators and that they're their students. The days of breaking them down before building them back up is over. The real world has broken them enough. It stops now. Dr. Pace agreed, and she said that she will ease up. That is to be seen. I hope she does, and that things go smoother for Keisha and the other dancers. Everyone's hanging out, and Damon and JR find out that their video got 1 million views, and Nate's wondering where Thea's at, and she's on a tennis court trying to practice. She's throwing the ball up and she's still not taking that swing. She screamed and threw a racket down like we seen in the trailer, and that's where the episode ends. Thea is struggling to take the chance, whether it's still the injury or she's just not mentally there. In the next episode, I hope she begins to work on that. Overall, good episode. Each one had their own problem dealt with or having to continue with in the next episode. Excited to see what happens next, but y'all let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think about the episode and what was your favorite part from it? Here's some more All-American Homecoming content. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.